Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Unfog with Dr. Atahar Parveen. Friends, I really hope that you all are preparing rigorously for your upcoming CTET. Believe me friends, CTET is a golden opportunity for you all, especially if you have not qualified in Karnataka TET, because CTET will also give you eligibility for writing the government teacher recruitment CET exam, either it be GPSTR or PSTR. Previously, we have been discussing July 2024 question paper because that question paper we found a lot of versatile questions and those questions will be very much helpful for you this time also. And even if you are a PSTR, GPSTR or HSTR aspirant, then also this video is a must watch for you because there are some very good questions in this question paper even from the science part. So totally there will be 30 questions from science part in CTET also. So in this class we will be discussing the first 15 questions and we will try to make things easy for you by giving you all information related to the particular questions and their options also. So make sure that you watch this class till the end. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe right now. And also you can join our Telegram group and Telegram channel. You will get the link in the description below this video. In our Telegram group, you can have direct interaction with us and other aspirants also. In fact, it is an interactive group, so you can also ask doubts from subject part also in that group. Okay, so let us start the class now. See this question number 61. It is from science methodology part. Discussion on socio-scientific issues in class helps in, and there are 4 options. Developing argumentative skills in learners, developing multiple perspectives on an issue, encouraging citizen science activities, appreciating the role of society in development of science. And below this there are 4 options. You have to tick the correct option wherein you find that the socio-scientific issues, if you discuss in your classroom, it will help which of the following 4 options. So basically, discussing the socio-scientific issues in a classroom builds argumentation, and also the learners can come up with the multiple perspectives, and also it encourages the active citizenship. So keeping these 3 things in mind, our correct answer should be option 4, because the discussion on socio-scientific issues for sure helps in argumentative skills also, and multiple perspectives also, and in active citizenship also. But it does not help in development of science because we are talking about socio-scientific issues. So that's why putting option D will not be the correct manner here. So above 3 options A, B and C, these 3 things are helpful when you discuss socio-scientific issues in your classroom. Okay. Next question. This is also, you can say, related to sort of science methodology only. See the question. Metal oxides are basic in nature. Air expands on heating. Lime water turns milky on passing carbon dioxide. Sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid neutralize each other. So here see, very tricky question this is. They have given 4 options in the starting. Then they are telling that let us represent observation with letter O and let us represent inference with letter I. Now you have to tell that which of the above 4 statements is correct. See, what is observation? Observation means what we can directly see, right? Or what we can feel or measure during an experiment. Whereas inference means it is a conclusion, right? After the experiment, whatever conclusion you come up with, or you can also say whatever generalization you are drawing from the observation with whatever knowledge you already have, right? So here, if you read the 4 options carefully, the correct answer will be option 1 here, because see here, what is observation among the 4 options here? observation is lime water is turning milky on passing carbon dioxide. This is your observation while doing the experiment. While option A, option C and option D are all conclusions which you come up after performing the experiments. So options A, B and D are actually inference, right? So option 1 will be the correct answer here. Next question. Now this question is a question directly asked from physics part in science. Read the question. An object flows with 1/4 part of its volume outside the liquid when put in liquid A and 3/4 part of its volume outside the liquid when put in liquid B. Which of the following statements is true? See, one thing you have to understand is that the liquid in which the object is floating higher. Here the liquid is there and the object is floating higher. It means that this liquid is denser. Here what is the situation? In liquid A, 1/4 volume is outside, which means that 3/4 is submerged, right? Like that only in liquid B, 3/4 volume is outside, which means that 1/4 volume is submerged, right? So here, if you read the options, you will get to know that the correct answer is that density of liquid B is greater than density of liquid A. If you draw the figures, you will understand here. See, this is a liquid A. Okay. In liquid A, 3/4 of the object is submerged. And in liquid B, only 1/4 of the object is submerged. It means that liquid B is having greater density, right? It is denser. And this one is having less density when compared to liquid B, right? So density of liquid B is greater than density of liquid A. Okay? Clear, right? So option 1 will be the correct answer here. Next question. Which of the following is or are true regarding scientific investigations? Results are not influenced by procedure. Social context may influence conclusions in any investigation. Data and evidence are same. There is no universal scientific method. So you have to choose which are true when we talk about scientific investigations. See here, what are the keywords in the options? If you see here, they are talking about data. They are talking about evidence, right? So what is data? Data is raw facts, right? If you know the meaning of these keywords, then you can easily find out the answer. What is evidence? Evidence is actually interpreted data, right? You are interpreting these raw facts. That is your evidence, right? Interpret this. So it means that data and evidence are not same, right? They both are different. Now you have to find out which of the following are true regarding scientific investigations. See option A, results are not influenced by procedure. This is also wrong. Results are surely influenced by the procedure in your investigations, right? So here option A and option C are wrong. But in the question they are asking which are true. So option B and D are correct. So option 4 will be the correct answer here. Friends, in CTET, this is the bigger problem. Questions are little bit tricky and little bit lengthy also. And you also need to be a little bit good in English, because those keywords you can interpret only if you have knowledge of synonyms and meanings. So you have to little bit work on your language part also in order to interpret the especially science pedagogy part. Okay. This way, if you analyze the options, then you can finally reach to correct answer. So in this question, what we have done, we have removed wrong answers first and we reached to right answers here. Okay. Which of the following statements is or are true. Now this is a direct biology question. This is not from pedagogy part. This is a direct biology question. You have to find out which statement is or are true. I mean, one statement is true and other one is false, or both are true or both are false. That type of question this is. So read two first statements now. Self-pollination takes place only in bisexual flowers. Second statement is bisexual flowers can pollinate both by self and cross-pollination. See, here you have to understand that bisexual flowers, they are having both stamens and pistil. So, self-pollination is possible in bisexual flowers, but also cross-pollination is also possible in bisexual flowers. Right? But this is not the case that it is possible only in bisexual flowers. See, self-pollination is also possible in unisexual flowers of same plant, and we call that type of self-pollination in unisexual flowers of same plant as a geitonogamy. Here, transfer of pollen takes place from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower, but these flowers are there on the same plant. So, this is happening in unisexual flowers. So, option 1, self-pollination takes place only in bisexual flowers. It is a wrong statement because it is happening in unisexual also. And the second statement, bisexual flowers can pollinate both self and cross-pollination. Yes, this is a true statement. So, what will be our correct answer here? A is false and B is true. Okay, this way you have to analyze the options and get to the final correct answer. Okay. Next question. Which of the following statements is or are true regarding rainwater harvesting? Now these type of questions are common questions in TETs because they are related to our environment. They are related to how to conserve water and all that. Okay. Now you have to find out the true statements regarding rainwater harvesting. What are the statements here? It conserves groundwater. It reduces local flooding. It creates drainage problems. It can be used for irrigation of crops. See, I can easily remove option C, right? It does not create drainage problem. In fact, it removes drainage problems. Okay. So now, what are the remaining ones? Of course, it conserves groundwater. It reduces local flooding. It can be used for irrigation of crops. So, rainwater harvesting recharges groundwater, reduces flooding, and supports irrigation. So, option 1 will be the correct answer here. Okay. Next question. Which of the following factors are responsible for generation and flow of winds on the earth? So, you have to find out the factors which are responsible for generation and flow of winds on the earth. So, uneven heating of the earth. Yes, it is responsible for generation and flow of winds on the earth. Uneven heating of the oceans. Yes, this is also responsible. Distance between earth and sun, no gravitation force on the earth, no. So these two options A and B, actually uneven heating of earth and oceans is responsible for generation of winds and also flow of winds on the earth. So our correct answer here will be option 1. Now why does this happen? This happens because this uneven heating of land and oceans actually creates pressure differences. Now this pressure difference is nothing but winds. Okay. Next, question number 68. This is a assertion and reason type of question. Read the statements given below and choose the correct option. What is assertion? The filament of an incandescent bulb is made up of tungsten. And the reason they are telling that tungsten has low resistance and high melting point. Now here option 1 will be the correct answer. Why? Because the assertion what they are telling is true only, but the reason is false here. First of all, you have to understand what is this incandescent bulb. See, what is this incandescence? Incandescence means glowing of hot object. Now bulb gives light because there is one thin wire inside that bulb. That thin wire becomes very hot and glows whenever the current passes through it. And that thin wire we actually call it as a filament. Now the reason they are giving here for tungsten is wrong. In fact, tungsten is having relatively high electrical resistivity. Because of this high electrical resistivity, the tungsten filament gets heat up and it glows whenever current is passing through it. Okay, so remember that tungsten is relatively having high electrical resistivity, and of course it is having high melting point. This though is a right part only, but it is having high resistivity also. This you have to remember. So that's why here the reason they are given is wrong. So option 1 will be the correct answer here. Next, question number 69. A gender responsive pedagogy in science entails. So they are talking about gender responsive pedagogy here. What is gender responsive pedagogy? It means that you are talking about equality. You are not talking about stereotypes. Okay. So gender sensitive language means you are as a teacher using such words which do not favor any gender. Like for example, you are not taking favor of either only girls or either only boys. Instead of telling boys or girls in the class, you are telling students. For example, you are using statements like everyone can learn science, or you are telling that scientists can be men and women both, right? So gender responsive pedagogy means having equality and no stereotypes in your classroom. So how should a science teacher teach so that boys and girls are treated equally? That is your question here, right? So if you see options here, use of gender sensitive language. Yes, you should use words that do not favor any gender. Engaging students in examining stereotypes. Yes. Making gender based groups. No. Using differentiated instruction and assessment. No. So option A and B are the correct answers here. Option 1 will be the correct one. Okay, so this is in fact the responsibility of a teacher to inculcate this type of positive thoughts among students and have a gender responsive pedagogy in science. Okay. Next, question number 70. Which of the following statement is not true? Remember, they are telling not true regarding conduction of heat. See the options. Conduction does not take place in gases. No, this is not true. Conduction occurs in gases, but little bit slowly, very slowly you can say. Okay. Next, you can read next 3 options also, but because we got answer in the first statement only, this is our correct answer because they are talking about only one statement, right? Which of the following statement is not true regarding conduction of heat, they are telling. So now the next 3 statements will be correct only. So this way also you can save your time in your exam. Okay. Next, question number 71. The purpose of divergent questions in science classroom can be. So this can promote critical thinking. Yes, of course it can promote critical thinking. To discern between students. No. To develop communication. Yes. To identify gifted students. No. To identify alternate conceptions. Yes. To appreciate subjectivity in science. Yes. So option 1 will be the correct answer here, because talking about divergent questions in science classroom will help critical thinking. It will help develop communication. It will help alternate conceptions. It will also help in appreciating the subjectivity in science. Okay. Next, question number 72. Which of the following characterizes human circulatory system? So for this you should have knowledge about what is a closed circulatory system, what is a single and double circulatory system and all that, right? So remember, closed circulation means blood is flowing only inside the blood vessels like arteries, veins, capillaries. Unlike the one where the blood is flowing freely in the body cavities. So this is not happening in humans. What is happening in humans? Closed circulation is happening. So blood is flowing only inside the blood vessels. And the blood is passing through heart twice in one complete cycle. Right? one cycle is from heart to lungs, again to heart, which we call as pulmonary circulation, and then from heart to body to heart, which we call as systematic circulation, right? So this we call as a double circulation. So this is what is happening in human circulatory system, closed and double circulation. Okay. Next, question number 73. Which of the following is true regarding scientific laws? You have to find out which statement is true. They can't be challenged. Of course, they can be challenged. They provide reasoning for physical phenomena. No, actually they are not providing reasoning. They are stating the law, right? So this is also not true. They describe relationships between observable phenomena. Yes, that is only scientific law. They are formed from scientific theories. No. Actually, scientific laws, they describe relations or patterns observed in the nature. They are telling what actually happens, but they don't tell why it is happening. Okay. So that's why option 3 will be the correct answer here. Next, another question which is a assertion and reasoning type. Read the statements given below and choose the correct option. Assertion statement is the rate of breathing in aquatic animals is slower than land animals. Reason, they are telling presence of large amounts of dissolved oxygen affects rate of breathing of aquatic animals. Actually, here both are false, because aquatic animals generally they have faster breathing rate when you compare with the breathing rate of land animals, because dissolved oxygen in water is actually very much less than oxygen present in air on the land. So that's why rate of breathing in aquatic animals is faster. They have to breathe fastly because the oxygen dissolved in water is very less. Okay. And water does not contain large amounts of dissolved oxygen. In fact, it is having much less oxygen. So, I told you that aquatic animals must breathe faster to meet their oxygen requirement. So, that's why reason is also wrong here. So, both are wrong. So, option 2, both A and R are false will be the correct answer here. Okay. Next, another question from assertion and reason type only. Actually, in CTET, you find many questions from assertion and reasoning type only. So, it's better that you practice these type of questions, and actually these type of questions are easy only if you understand the statements properly. If you don't understand the statements, then it is tough to answer this type of questions. Okay. So see this question, assertion, it is telling that the ceilings of cinema halls and concert halls are generally curved. If you have observed, it is true actually. Reason, sound waves after striking a curved surface get reflected in all directions. So both are correct actually. Because sound waves after striking curved surface, they get reflected in all directions. Because of that reason only, the ceilings of cinema halls and concert halls are usually in the curved manner. So that's why both A and R are true, and R is correct explanation for A. So why do we want these sound waves to be reflected? See, actually these sound waves, if they reflect and spread uniformly to all parts of the hall, then people sitting even at the back can hear clearly. So because of this good sound quality which will be reached to every audience in the hall, we need to have this sound waves reflection. Okay, clear, right? Okay friends, we really hope that you like this class, and if you have any queries regarding this class, please feel free to write in the comment section, or you can discuss in the Telegram group, and also share this video as much as possible with your friends and other CTET aspirants. And for more such classes, you have to like this class, and also you have to share maximum. So if we get maximum likes, then only I will solve the rest of the questions from the science part from this July 2024 CTET question paper. Okay friends, thank you. All the best. Bye.